The man accused of murdering 30-year-old Olorato Mongale has been shot dead by police in a dramatic overnight operation. But here's what you need to know. This suspect confessed to the crime before his death, and we've got the exclusive footage of the police spokesperson who led the raid. Stick around. This is breaking news on the Hot Seat SA. Here's the timeline. One Olorato Mongale was reported missing in Johannesburg after a night out. Days later, her body was found, sparking nationwide outrage. Two police traced a rental car linked to the suspects, leading them to KwaZulu-Natal. The main suspect, already wanted for multiple crimes, was tracked to an apartment in Amanzimtoti. But here's the shocking twist. Before police arrived, the suspect confessed to the car rental owner, admitting he killed Olorato and even said he wanted to delete himself. When SAPs stormed in, the suspect pulled out a firearm and was shot dead in the exchange. Now, the big questions. Was this a GBV murder or a hit? Where's the accomplice who fled to Zimbabwe? Why was this suspect, a known criminal, still on the streets? For the full, unfiltered police account, here's the official briefing from the scene. When SAPs...
And he has rented out cars to him before, and he arrived this morning, yesterday morning, to come and rent a vehicle from him. And allegedly, the guy says, upon seeing his face on the media, he then decided that he's not going to give him the vehicle, but he stayed with him the whole day, trying to convince him to hand himself over. And he confessed, according to the witness, the owner of the place. He said he confessed to him on what he did in Joburg. And he wanted to commit suicide. And when he asked him about the second suspect, he told him that the other suspect said he's going to Zimbabwe. So he has disappeared, and we're still trying to locate him as well. So we eventually, when the team arrived here, was able to get into this apartment. And in this apartment, they knocked and they came in, and unfortunately there was an engagement inside, and the suspect was fatally wounded.
This obviously follows the work that was being done over the past few days, where even the vehicle was recovered. So just to clarify that point, this suspect that has been located is the son of the other gentleman that was arrested, am I correct?
Yeah, that's correct. The vehicle is owned by a man that lives in a township nearby Devon, which is called KwaMashu. And this boy was using that vehicle. It's a vehicle that he used to drive to Johannesburg, where the incident occurred, and he brought the vehicle back, and he took the vehicle to the peanut beater because it had some damage in it. And that's where we recovered the vehicle, and with some blood stains at the back of the back seat of the vehicle. The forensic people were processing it. We hope that blood stain will be linked with the victim. And the parents, the father especially, confirmed that his son was using a car. And then since the son was on the run, and wherever we've been trying to locate the son, eventually he went to throw money in one of the banks in around the area, not far from here. And we picked him up on the cameras when he went to that shopping center. And the vehicle that picked him up from there, and it's the same vehicle that allegedly had picked him up from the house where he was at after allegedly his mother tipped him off. We managed to locate that vehicle, and we found the suspect, and from there we were following up in places where he might have been dropped off until went all the way up to the north, King Kocha district, to pick up other people that they transported him here. And so we pick up those people, and they took us to another one took us until eventually we came back here. So the team has been working around the clock trying to trace him until we located him here.
PC, just from the top, we came in the middle of your sentence. Just a clarification on how we got to this particular place. You were right in the middle of explaining when we got to you. Apologies for that.
Yeah, we all know that the incident happened in Johannesburg, and the team has been tracing from Johannesburg, working with KZN, following up the information. The vehicle was located in one of the townships at the peanut beater shop in Devon, and the vehicle was traced to be belonging to an owner at KwaMashu Township, also in Devon. And we arrived there, and the boy was not there. The father confirmed that his son was using the vehicle. So we tried to trace the son. His son is the one that has been on the public space about being involved in the murder of that girl. We then be able to pick up the vehicle that picked him up yesterday morning, and we followed that vehicle until we located the car. From there, we were able to then trace all the movements of that vehicle, where it dropped off, who was traveling with them. So we do have the suspect driving the vehicle. We have the accomplice that was also with him in the morning until they brought us here, and where he was hiding. He came here, according to the person who's renting the place, he came here to come and rent the vehicle. And apparently he rented the vehicle in the past from the same guy. And he came here to rent the vehicle, but this guy said allegedly didn't give him a car because he had seen his photo on media that he was wanted for something. So he kept him here and he was interrogating, asking him why, what happened. And he said he confessed to him of what he did in Joburg. And then he wanted to commit suicide, and he didn't want to hand himself to the police. And so he spent the whole day with him. What was funny for us, because he said he even locked him up in the house, and he went to go and buy food nearby, and he came back and he fed him. The whole day they were together until the evening, until the team eventually arrived here.
You spoke of a confession as well. Apologies.
Well, we are hearing from this guy that he told him what he did in Johannesburg. So it is this guy that's going to give a statement to confirm that, because he didn't talk to the police about it. It's this guy that is telling us what he was telling him the whole day. As he was allegedly, this guy is one of those gospel coordinators. So he was trying to counsel him, praying and the whole thing, trying to encourage him to hand himself over. So this is what this guy tells us. Obviously, his statement will prove that.
So what led to the shooting then?
Well, the shooting happened when the police arrived. So this guy confirms that he did not search him. He doesn't know whether he was carrying a firearm. So when the police came in, knocked at the door and opened the door, that's when he pulled out his gun.
General, I think time is, I know that you need to leave, and I want to get to this point. I know that there are two outstanding suspects. I want to know if those suspects are here in KZN, and if your team is looking for them, and if we are any closer to finding out what the motive is.
Yeah, well, this guy here tells us that when he interviewed the deceased told him, the other suspect said he told him that he's going to Zimbabwe. So we don't know about that, and we're still trying to locate him. Even the other suspect that might have been involved in this case, we are told by Gauteng team that there were two suspects that were part of it, but we know the main suspect was this one that we managed to locate here. So while the team in Gauteng is tracing for other suspects, and they shared information with us, and the one that we know on the media that is one of the accomplices, we're also going to be tracing him. But thus far, the two that assisted him to escape, that have been driving with him yesterday, picked him up and driving him around and drop him off here and went to go draw money from the bank, and that were assisting him are the ones that we are also going to have in custody as an accomplice on this escape of evading arrest.
Can I ask you just before you leave, sorry, yesterday National Police said something along the lines of that after they released the tip-off line for anyone who had information on these suspects, that they received hundreds of calls from women across the country saying that they know them, that they've been victims of them. They did not mention KZN. I just want to know if that's something you are investigating at this stage. Have you received calls? Yeah, please.
Yeah, well, not less than over 90 calls that we've received as ACPS as a whole in the country. We know that he's also having a kidnapping case here at KwaMashu that we were supposed to appear in court for. We know of the court case in Brakpan where we were supposed to appear on Monday on a kidnapping case as well. So we have not less than 28 cell phones, I beg your pardon, ID cards that are found in his possession, and not less than 20 cell phones that are found in his possession. He's been moving around with a safe. We don't know for what purpose. So we're still trying to trace these IDs, who they belong to, and who are these people that is having their IDs here. And the cell phones, we're still going to download all of them and try to link them up. We like to believe there's a lot of victims that are going to be involved with this guy.
You mentioned, Commissioner, if I can just come in there. Just two questions for me. Do we know whose apartment this is? Was he renting here? And the second one is there has been confusion with regards to whether the mother and the father were taken in for questioning or whether they were in fact arrested. Can you just clarify that for us?
Yeah, well, the apartment is rented out. We cannot disclose the owner. The gentleman that is here, who stays in the place, is renting out the place. So the deceased or the suspect came to hire a vehicle from the one who's renting the place. With regard to the parents, I had said yesterday that when the team arrived in the house last night, they found the parents in the house. The father confirmed that yes, it's his son, and the vehicle was used by his son. And they directed us where his son was. And when the team moved into the place towards Inanda area, where it was alleged that the son was at, they arrived there and they found someone who then reported to the police that 20 minutes before the police arrival, the son was there and he had received a call from his mother that the police were looking for him and they were at home. And therefore he called someone to come and pick him up and was picked up by a grey polo vehicle and he left. So that's when we then started questioning the parents. Of course, the father is the owner of the vehicle and he should be able to assist us to try and locate the son going forward. That's why we took him in for questioning. The mother who allegedly assisted this boy to escape, which we cannot charge her for until we get a Section 205 to really confirm the story that you're hearing that she might have tipped him off. Until we confirm that, we'll be able to then charge her. So for now, we had taken both of them for questioning, but because it's not a KZN case, we had advised in KZN that the team from Gauteng that was here must interrogate them and try and establish more facts. So they took them to Gauteng, and what we're made to understand is that they've released them. I don't know when, but they're not necessarily facing any charges yet, because taking them was more about part of the investigations that we're doing while we're looking for this man.
General, while we are focusing on this shooting that took place here, there were also other incidents that took place overnight. At least 3 CIT robbers were shot dead in various incidents. So would you be able to give us some of those details? I know that this is linked to the robbery on the R56 near Richmond.
Yeah, well, the team has been working overnight and a lot of teams have been running around. We know of an incident that happened where unfortunately a 6-year-old was injured and an adult male was shot dead as well. That happened as a result of a armed robbery that has gone wrong. The criminals had planned to bomb the cash vehicle and steal the money, but it looks like they did not make a right calculation with the amount of explosive they put in there because the safe did not open. And so the robbery was not successful. And as a result, they decided to terrorize the community that were caught at the time, and which then they started shooting around randomly that led into the injury of those people. So we were able to trace at least 3 of them. They were located in 2 different areas in around the Teguini, and there was an engagement with the police on both of them, on all 3 of them, and all 3 were fatally wounded. And fortunately, the members still survived the incident. And we were able to find one of the firearms, a rifle, that was stolen from that crime scene, which belongs to the Fidelity Guard. And from what we are getting from some of the clients, the Fidelity officials that were with us as we were working on this case, is that one of the deceased is an ex-employee of Fidelity. Was dismissed from Fidelity for I don't know what other cases or misconduct that he committed internally. So we believe that, as we always say, that there's no cash heist that happens without people knowing how the operations are ran inside those companies. So in getting this one and getting his cell phones and be able to download, we probably might be able to link many people, hopefully, and you can have more arrests. But there are many people we're looking for. These 3 are not the only ones that are involved in heist. As a matter of fact, we know that while we are still talking here, others are planning something somewhere.
PC, just last question from my side. National Police have released a statement saying that there is a syndicate that's operating targeting young women. Could there possibly be more arrests in the Olorato case?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't necessarily know because I'm not part of the investigation team on that one. The syndicates that might be operating around the country, of course, there are teams that are assigned by the National Commission at the national level that are working on such. But in as far as this case is concerned, we know that this gentleman is linked with many cases. So as the investigation unfolds, and I'm sure we'll be able to communicate with the media in as far as the linkages that he is having on many other cases involving young girls.
PC, the mother of this gentleman who is said to have given that phone call to him to tip him off, what would the charge be? Should she be charged?
For now, we can't talk about it until the the records on the conversation between him and the son is confirmed. Until we confirm that, then only then we'll be able to tell what charges can be preferred against him. But until now, we cannot talk anything about her being charged on anything because it's still a hearsay. It's information we receive from someone who was in the house who tell us that. Yeah.
Thank you very much.